Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Corey Brown. I am the program manager at Problem Gambling Network of Ohio, and I am joined today by Cheyenne Roller, who is the program assistant at Problem Gambling Network of Ohio. Just kind of pop in here. The conference will be held on Tuesdays and Thursdays in March, every Tuesday and Thursday, and it will be held virtually using the Zoom platform.
So if you were able to join us today for the webinar, then that means that you're pretty much set for the conference. We'll be using the same platform and structure for the conference. We do recommend that you use a smartphone, tablet, or computer capable of running Zoom. You won't be able to dial in by phone for the conference purely due to CEU reasoning. We do recommend computers just for ease of use and functionality. It is a lot easier to access Zoom and type in the chat from the computer. And we recommend downloading the Zoom app as well.
So our conference will be held every Tuesday and Thursday, and we have structured it as 4 weeks, and we have themed those weeks just to kind of keep things cohesive and make this conference feel like an actual conference and not just a string of webinars that have that run together. So we have 4 themed weeks. Each week there will be keynote presentations, educational presentations, listening sessions, and networking and engagement sessions. And all of those sessions will be thematically related. And so we'll discuss what differs a keynote from an educational presentation versus a listening session and networking and engagement sessions as well. But definitely want to hit on the fact that we are being very mindful to make sure everything flows together well. So week 1 is progress. Week 2 will be collaborate. Week 3 is innovate, and week 4 is support. So on Tuesdays during the conference, we will have a keynote presentation to kick off the week. That will be held from 10:30 a.m. to 12 noon. And then from 12 noon to 1, we'll have a listening session. And then from 1 to 2:30, we'll have an educational presentation. On Thursdays, again, we'll have a educational presentation. There's a little bit of a typo there. Educational presentation will be 10:30 to noon on Thursdays. 12 to 1 will be a break for lunch. 1 to 2:30 will be an educational presentation, and from 2:45 to 3:30, we will have networking and engagement. All sessions will be live. We will not have any recorded sessions for the actual conference, although all sessions will be recorded, and we'll kind of get into that a little bit here in a bit.
So just to kind of take you through what all those different sessions mean, we're going to go each one. So keynote presentations are probably something you're pretty familiar with. They are presented by national experts, and they establish the main theme for that week. So they're the first thing you'll see at the start of the week.
And the keynote presentations will be held on Zoom webinar, which means you won't have to share your camera and you won't have access to your microphone, but you will be able to engage through chat, Q&A, and polls. You'll also, these presentations also provide continuing education hours. So the polls will be at the end. There might be polls throughout, but definitely the poll at the end just to verify attendance to be able to ethically provide the CEUs.
So listening sessions are going to be delivered during lunch. They're meant to be a bit more of a casual learning environment and are meant to be supplemental to conference presentations.
And these sessions will be held on the same Zoom webinar link as the keynote presentation, so you can sign off and just sign right back on, but it will follow the keynote presentation, so you won't necessarily even have to sign off. You can just go to the microwave, heat your lunch up, come back, sit down, and kind of even check emails and listen. There's no attendance required for these for CEUs because they do not provide CEUs. You still will be able to engage through chat and Q&A if you wish, but it is not needed or necessary unless you are engaged in the session and you want to ask questions.
So we also are going to have educational presentations. They will be delivered 3 times a week, and they support the theme established by the Keynote Presentations.
So again, these will be held on the same Zoom webinar link. It's just on Tuesdays. The link will stay the same throughout the entire day. And it'll continually run the entire day. So it'll be on the same link as the keynote presentations and the listening sessions. And again, just as a keynote presentation, you'll be able to engage through chat, Q&A, and polls. And these will provide CEUs as well. So there will be the poll at the end to verify attendance.
We're also going to be offering some networking and engagement opportunities. So those are just designated times for attendees to discuss topics that are relevant to your work, as well as connect with others across the continuum of care and the Ohio Gambling Support Service System.
So these will be held using Zoom meeting. This will be a completely different link. So we'll have one link that is meant for keynote presentations, listening sessions, and educational presentations, and then one link that will be used for networking and engagement time. So during these sessions, attendees will be able to engage by sharing their cameras, their microphones, and by using the chat box as well. These will not provide continuing education. However, will provide a lot of benefit by engaging with others in the gambling support service system. I want to go through a little bit of the agenda week by week, just to kind of highlight some of the sessions that we're offering. Here in a bit, Cheyenne and I will take you through some of the information that's on our website, which provides additional information to what we will provide here now. But just kind of want to highlight some of the sessions each week. So during the Progress Week, our keynote will be provided by Dr. Deborah Haskins, discussing diversity, equity, and inclusion. Our listening session will be Stacy Frownapple-Hassan from Ohio Department of Mental Health and Addiction Services, along with Karen Russo from the Ohio Lottery and Amanda Blackford from the Ohio Casino Control Commission, discussing the Ohio model and from where they formed until now. Jody Bechtold and Alyssa Wilson will discuss self-exclusion and clinical practice. Tristan Ball will talk about engaging lottery retailers in environmental prevention. James Syfax will discuss cryptocurrency and online gambling. And our networking and engagement session that week, we will be mixing up folks kind of outside of their sectors. For our Collaborate Week, our keynote will be delivered by Julie Hines, discussing the importance of cross-sector collaboration. Our listening session will be done by Penn National Gaming, discussing their responsible gambling approach at their properties from the top-down approach. PG&O's Michael Bazzelli will lead an educational presentation about the Warm Transfer Project with on-call counselors. Hard Rock Cincinnati's Director of Compliance will talk about casino gaming compliance. Amanda Constarner from Prevention First will discuss ways to build prevention with the faith sector. And our networking and engagement session that week, we will be engaging with within our own sectors. For the Innovate Week, we have Dan Trillaro from the Council of Compulsive Gambling in New Jersey discussing emerging trends. We'll have a listening session that will feature a screening and assessment panel from Scott Anderson, Stephanie Gear, and Steve Capella. Olu Eludele will talk about the effects of COVID-19 on online gambling in New Jersey. We have a star-studded cast of prevention folks who will discuss innovation and prevention and recovery programs during the pandemic. Alessandro and Beth from Origo Branding will discuss social media strategies, and we will have a networking and engagement session that discusses Louis Theroux's Gambling in Las Vegas documentary. And then our final week will be support. We will have a keynote from Dr. Lori Rugel talking about mindless self-compassion for clients and ourselves. We will have a gambling in the military panel with Nick Ramirez and Robert Walmsley. Jamie Salzberg from the After Gambling podcast will discuss using technology to bring awareness for problem gambling. I have two of Ohio's recovery advocates doing a session on Thursday. And then Nan Franks will talk about initiating families into gambling treatment. And then our final networking and engagement session will be a get to know PG&O session.
We'll also be finishing off the conference with 2 post-conference sessions. So we'll be offering an ethics for prevention session. This is going to be run by Derek Longmire, PG&O's executive director. And then Dr. Heather Chapman with the Cleveland VA will be leading the ethics for treatment session. Both of these are an additional $15 to register for. But is free for PG&O members. So if you're a PG&O member, definitely recommend you register. One thing to note is they both are occurring at the same time, so you'll only be able to attend either the prevention ethics or the treatment ethics. You won't be able to attend both.
So our conference is providing the opportunity for 24 continuing education hours. At $50 for the early rate. As it stands now, that's $2 and a bit per hour. That's a pretty fantastic deal. In order for us to be able to provide these hours, we're going to be able to use reports from Zoom to determine login and log out times, and also use the poll questions at the end of every presentation to verify attendance. We're only able to provide the CEUs to folks who are in attendance live. So we're not going to be able to provide them for those who are able to watch recorded presentations due to prior commitments. However, those recorded presentations will still be available to get the information.
And here's all the registration information. So early registration will be closing next Tuesday. So if you haven't gotten a chance to register, definitely want to do that sometime this week. After that, price is going to be going up to $65. And we are keeping registration open through the end of the month. So if you missed the first week, you'll still be able to access the recordings of those sessions, but then can watch the rest of them live. And then the post-conference sessions are $15 each or free for PG&O members. So a lot of you might be very busy the month of March, and we understand you won't be able to attend every single session. Luckily, with the fact that this is a virtual conference, we're able to record every session, and we will be posting them for you to watch after they have occurred to the conference portal. And so that's something that we'll show you kind of how you can access it and get to. There's also going to be a lot of other great stuff on the portal. So you've got the recordings and materials from each session, but you'll also be able to access the full program as well as the agenda. And then all of your Zoom links are also going to be available in that conference portal. So really that's going to be like your one-stop shop for anything conference related. You'll be able to access it there.
And what we'll do now is allow Cheyenne to share her screen, and she's going to show us the conference website, how to register, take us on a little tour of the portal, and then also maybe look at the agenda a bit.
So you'll be able to access everything from PG&O's website, which is pgnohio.org. When you come to our website, you're going to want to look at this tab right here that says conference. That's going to have really everything you're going to need. So if you just go straight to the first page, you'll be able to register and check our agenda out. So let's go ahead and look at the agenda since we've already kind of shown you all of the different sessions. So as you can see, this is our agenda. If you click on each session, you can follow it to a link which will describe the entire session, kind of give you some objectives that the presenter will be talking about, as well as different topics. We did just get CEUs approved yesterday, so that will be updated to the agenda shortly with which content areas each session fulfills. So that's the agenda. Let's go ahead and take a look at registration. So when you come to this page, you can either click on this button to register for the conference, and then click on this one to go ahead and register for either the prevention or treatment ethics sessions. So let's go ahead and take a look at the conference registration. Once you click that button, you can go ahead and click register now. And that'll take you to this page where you can go ahead and enter however many general admission tickets you need for the conference. As well, if you are interested in joining PGNO, you can go ahead and purchase your membership or renew your annual membership here as well. When you check out your tickets, you'll just need to make sure you enter everything correct, including which board you're licensed through and then your license number. Once you hit through continue on this page, it'll just bring you to entering your information and your payment information. So the last part of the website that we'll show you real quick is the conference portal. So the conference portal is not live yet, but it will be going live later this week. So if you've already registered for the conference, you'll be receiving a link with how to access your account and log in. And then once the conference portal has gone live, if you register for the conference, that'll be included in your registration information. So go ahead and log in. So this is just the main conference portal page. Once you're brought here, you can click on any of the buttons to access the information that you need. So if we go here, you can see we're brought to the agenda. You can also click on each speaker's name to kind of get an idea of what their background is and what their experience is in. There are a lot of other things on the conference portal. Right now, it's a little empty. If you go to recordings and materials, there's nothing there yet, but we will be posting those hopefully 1 week after each session occurs. They will be posted to the conference website. And that's pretty much the conference portal and the website. You can access everything you need conference related at pgnohio.org/conference, and I'll put that in the chat as well.
I want to talk about a couple other ways that we can, you can also support the conference through PGNO membership, which Cheyenne hit on a couple of the benefits of membership, one being free ethics. We also have other discounted trainings. A lot of our specialty topics trainings are also discounted or free for PGNO members. We have member only newsletters, other networking opportunities, voting privileges for board seats and the like. Also sponsorship and advertisement is also another way that you can support the conference, and that's also available on our conference website as well. Definitely want to open the floor now for questions, and I know we have quite a few in the chat that I want to start addressing. A couple of them definitely are Cheyenne questions, so I'll present them and then I'll let Cheyenne answer. Cynthia says that she's registered, but she has not paid. How does she make a payment?
Cynthia, I can check that for you. I'm the one that does all of the payment processing for PGNO. You should have received an invoice that was emailed to whatever email you signed up with, but I will take a look at that after the webinar and make sure that that's been sent to you.
And then another question from Diana in regards to adding 2 licenses.
Yes, you can add multiple licenses. We have been approved for CEUs through the Ohio Social Work Board, Chemical Dependency Board, the Ohio Board of Nurses, and the Board of Psychologists. So if you have licenses through any of those boards, you can go ahead and input those, and we'll make sure you receive credit for them. And Corey, I can't remember if you mentioned this already, but we are also trying to work towards becoming a provider with the International Gambling Counselor Certification Board. So that soon will be added to registration as well.
And just to quickly answer Megan's question, yes, we have been approved by the Counselor, Social Worker, and Marriage Family Therapist Board as well. So that's great. Kim asked, is our CEUs only available for those who are able to watch the live presentations? And yes, they are only available for those who can watch live. So the recorded sessions will not allow for CEUs, but again, we are offering those for folks who register to be able to have that information. Diana asks, is there a code to enter when we register for ethics if we are a PGNO member to get it for no cost?
Diana, there is a code. This week, email will be going out to all PGNO members with the information for the code and how to register. But I will go ahead and send you an email after this webinar with that code, so you can go ahead and get registered right away.
And then Megan asks, when will Zoom links be emailed out? We don't necessarily have a plan yet for emailing the Zoom links out. I think probably closer to conference might be a better option, just to assume that they don't get lost in the inbox. However, they are going to be multiple places. So not only will they be emailed out, but they'll also be on the conference portal, as we discussed. They'll also be in the conference guide, which is currently being designed, and there'll be multiple places in that conference guide as well. So there'll be multiple places for you to be able to get the Zoom links. Again, there'll be one link for every single keynote presentation, listening session, and educational presentation, and one link for every single networking and engagement time. So there'll only be 2 links for the entire conference, which makes it pretty simple for folks to be able to get on.
And I do want to just kind of answer a couple questions out loud that were answered earlier in the chat. So earlier, Megan asked, we can't dial into the conference, and I just wanted to clarify that's correct. You won't be able to dial in by phone. Zoom has a couple options where you can either just dial in with your actual phone number or join through your Zoom account. Unfortunately, Zoom doesn't track attendance for those that dial in by phone, which is a requirement to receive CEUs. So you'll only be able to join by the Zoom link. And then another question was, when is the ethics sessions going to be? Those are both going to be on Tuesday, March 30th from 9 a.m. to 12:30 p.m.
I just want to highlight the fact that even though maybe the prospect of a virtual conference might seem daunting to some folks, it has allowed us the opportunity to provide a lot more continuing education for a lot cheaper of a price. And so definitely take advantage of that. I think that's really the biggest selling point of this conference is we have a lot of quality presenters, and a lot of presentations, and it's only $50. So that's pretty awesome. And Megan, I'm right there with you. Not complaining about being in comfy clothes, getting CEUs. Very nice. Nabil asked, will there be reminder emails going out before each session, and will they have Zoom links as well? Yeah, so I think we're gonna plan on having reminder emails going out at least the day before, if not the day of, every Tuesday and Thursday. So we want folks to have quick access to be able to get on the presentation. So whatever we can do to make it easier for folks, that's what we want to do. Yeah, the conference guide, Derek. Thank you. I thought I mentioned it, but there is a conference guide designed by Nabil, and it will be 100% fully interactive. It'll have all the links to the sessions, also links to the agenda to read session descriptions. So that will be housed on the conference portal, and also will be going out through email to attendees as well. Another question, is it possible to only attend ethics? Would CEUs be given for attending this portion only? Yes. Ethics is what we are considering to be a post-conference session. So while technically we are promoting it with the conference, it is not necessarily a part of the conference. So you can attend only ethics, and CEUs will be given for only attending ethics. Talk a little bit more about the documentary networking session. Yeah, so Michael Bazzelli came up with a fascinating number of talking points around the documentary, Louis Theroux's Gambling in Las Vegas documentary. And we first did it as a staff, actually. So Cheyenne, myself, Derek, and Mike all watched the documentary separately and came together and had some conversations around the talking points. And then we actually did it with our fellowship, and we thought it would be a great idea to do it at the conference as well. So we'll watch the documentary individually on our own time, not as a part of the conference, and then come together and have some conversations around some of the talking points that Mike came up with. And all that material will be available before the networking session, obviously, so you'll have time to find. You have to, have to find some time to watch it individually, but all that will be available prior to. And don't hesitate to reach out. Obviously, you can reach us by email. Mine is cbrown@pgnohio.org, or you can find all the information on our conference website as well. Again, shout out to our sponsors. Without sponsorship of this very important conference, it wouldn't happen the way it does. And again, even though it is virtual and we all wish that we could be in person, we're trying to make this as nice as possible and as informative as possible, and make the networking and engagement sessions feel like we are in person. So trying to be very just mindful and intentional about the conference. So hopefully it provides great value. Seeing no more questions, I think we'll go ahead and end it here. I want to thank everybody again for your time and learning more about the conference. If you have not yet registered, make sure to register before the end of February 1st. That way you can get the discounted rate of $50. And again, if you have any more questions, our emails are in the chat box, and also the website is in the chat box. This will be recorded, so this will be on our website as well in the next few days. So if, as Derek said, tell your friends, and if they want to learn more, and they can watch this and they can visit the website and learn more about the conference. So thank you much, and I look forward to seeing you all in March.